the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's.
Saying it, you may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Guys, there's nothing like boxing, and there are no athletes like fighters.
Struggling to get to his feet. It comes. It's unbelievable.
Back, takes another right. Burns in deep trouble again. Burns is down. Burns is down.
You know, you dream of fights, I guess, but the very seldom do they live up to this. It's over.
What's up, fight fans? I'm J.Cotto. Welcome to J.Cotto's Fight Page. And today, I'm bringing you the case of Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And I'll tell you right now, man, the best middleweight in the world to me. 62 wins with 52 KOs and 3 losses. And I have to tell you, man, those 3 losses were nowhere as to knockouts or technical knockout. It's decisions. And to tell you the truth, man, a lot of new boxing fans and the ones that, you know, think they know what they're talking about, every time they hear Marvelous Marvin Hagler being thrown in as the or one of the greatest middleweights ever to hold the crown, and or crowns, plural, and it's just a lot of fighters of today don't even have 398 rounds boxed professionally. Okay? A lot of KO percentages that you see on boxers of today haven't been against opposition that would test them, you know? And we all know this. Yes, we all know this. And just standing at 5'9.5", man, with a 75-inch reach, man, Marvelous Marvin Hagler is a threat to everybody. You know, he's fought greats, and I have to tell you, the best match for me that I enjoyed watching was one of his last matches before Sugar Ray Leonard, and that was against John Mugabe. And if you guys haven't seen that match happened March 10th, 1986. Go get it, man. Go get that embedded into your fucking, into your mind, into your sight, man. Put it into your boxing mental Rolodex, because that's one of the greatest middleweight championship bouts ever. And it was for IBF, WBA, WBC. And in this era, from the early 70s, because his debut was 73. So from the early 70s all the way to the late 80s, and only having 3 defeats, this man would have a very long win streak. A huge win streak before facing his first loss in 76 against Bobby Watts. Then he won one, and then he lost again. And he lost to Willie Monroe. And then he had a long line. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was from 76 all the way before he lost again in 86. That's 10 years on win streaks, man. You know, you guys that don't really know and like to put down and you know, talking about these guys that have paved the way and And you know, these great fighters that have these outstanding records, you know, you gotta go and wonder and ask yourself, where do these fighters today want to be? I mean, yeah, money. We know this. But look how marvelous Marvin Hagler, Carlos Monzon, great middleweights, right? Then you've got Willie Pep. You know, it just goes on and on. The list just goes on and on. And I'll tell you right now, you have to concentrate on the richness of these boxes, and how they've done things to actually position themselves and be known as legacy and great legendary fighters and innovators because of the way they fought. You know, you can't right away say, just because a man has let's just say a 10-win streak with a 10-win knockout streak as well. You know, that's how he's winning, and all of the sudden, it's like he's better than the greats. No, because the greats have also tested themselves. Like I said, with that John Mugabe match, you know, he was already championship material. When he fought Roldan, champion, he was already done. He was already not done as in done and finished, but done as in, you know, already established himself, already had those hands, already had those bodies, those legendary bodies on them gloves. You guys got to respect that. You know what I mean? When I start bringing more in-depth series, you know, with this, you know, the case of with these boxers, I'm gonna give you partial history. You know, I can break it down however you like, but it's just the fact that it's all about the respect and upholding the law of boxing, which is always appreciate the greats and always understand that the greats have been there. You know what I'm saying? Give proper etiquette. You just can't. And the guys that are on his resume, like Duran, Mugabe, you know, Roldan, Hearns, you know, Hamsho. It can go on and on. You know, Geraldo. It can go on and on. It's just, even those guys, the guys on his resume are great. You know, Sugar Ray Seals. It's just, you know, Warren. It's just, you know, greats. Briscoe is greats. You know, these are guys that you can pick off of his resume and do your research and see how great they were. So it's not about, oh yeah, you know, that's what's thrown in this day and age. And this is not their fault. Okay, that's true. But now that takes away from you guys saying that the greats, like marvelous Marvin Hagler, fought cab drivers. Because yes, he fought guys like Bob Smith who were 5-4. You know, shit. Even guys like Bobby Williams who were like 19-34. He's everybody fights on the way up though. In 73. Manny Freitas, 14-19. Bob Harrington, 16-18. I mean, come on, guys, let's get serious. If that's where you want to go, then we can go. George Green, 0-7. But that's on the build-up. What happens after that? What happens after you win your first strap? What happens when you become a ranked contender? And what I mean ranked contender, I mean ranked top contender. Top 10, top 5, top 3. What happens after that? And you're going to fight the so-called guys you call cab drivers? Then they're fucking called cab drivers. Of course. But on the way up, you guys can't put that in the debate and an argument, because it makes no fucking sense, because everybody did it. Even the greats. Everybody fought what you call a cab driver nowadays and shit. And back then. Especially back then. So let's not be full of shit, and let's not pick at these resumes, and let's not pick at things knowing that these are stepping stones that every fighter has taken to become great. So that throws that shit off the debate tables, gentlemen and ladies. You know what I mean? You know, Marvelous Marvin Hagler is possibly the greatest middleweight ever. You just have to look at the quality opponents and the way he fought. Everybody knows who the fuck Marvelous Marvin Hagler is. And one can't be biased either. Yeah, I give credit to Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? I would love to give Canelo Alvarez some fucking credit, but I can't give him credit because he doesn't consider himself a middleweight. So what is he? And he don't consider himself a junior welterweight or junior middleweight. So what the fuck is he exactly? See, this is what I'm saying. You guys can't compare Canelo Alvarez because he's 47 and he, you know, half his resume can't even fuck with Marvelous Marvin Hagler. You know, pumping the brakes would be a very fucking good idea, guys. Especially when it comes to this. Hagler is one of the hardest fucking hitting heavyweights, the most skilled heavyweights, a fucking wrecking machine. And what's funny is he wasn't even accepted. And this man was shunned, thrown in the dark, backseated, all because of his skill. Sound familiar? Sound very familiar, don't it? Fighters like Rigondeaux, Gennady Golovkin at certain points. See, a lot of these fighters, a lot of you guys call them no good and shit, but then you also know that, you know, they take in step aside money. Why? Because they are a threat, so they want them to step aside so the other guys can fucking do their little Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus act. Come on, man, let's be real. Take the lotion out the fucking bucket, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do this. You know, on top of not being wanted, he faced a lot of opposition, man. You can only respect Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I sit here and I sip on my motherfucking Moscato that my wife poured me. Chilling in my backyard. Just listening to the baby gators out this motherfucker. And the crickets. And the motherfucking frogs. I say to myself, imagine there was a time machine. What do you think would have happened right now? Right motherfucking now, if Marvelous Marvin Hagler was in this era. Now, I know he's not, but just think about it. If you know who he is, if you know how he fought, do you think any of these fucking guys, after he would have knocked out in a devastating fashion, the first, 10 fucking opponents, do you think anybody would have wanted anything to do with him? He would have been rich off his step-aside money. So this is what's happened with Rigondeaux. This is what's happening to Gennady Golovkin. You know, and every other fighter that's not able to get a fight. And then, you know, there's some fighters that are really good and great and claim they want to test themselves, and they'll take one fight, but then it's at a catch weight. Then, you know, and this is the shit right here. You know, this is the shit right here. Marvelous Marvin Hagler fought you at the correct weight, and that's that. Yeah, there's arguments, of course. Oh, but back then, they had to fight. Because, yeah, of course they had to fight. But if you ask him, and if you listen to every fucking interview that he does, he says it in every video, in every fucking interview, man. Lie to you not. He loved fighting, man. He loved crashing motherfuckers. And at the same time, he was hungry for them titles. And he was hungry for defending them. he worried about the money later. And you hear a lot of the greats saying that these days. Why? Because, oh yeah, you can get hurt. Oh yeah, serious injury. Oh, it's the hurt game. How the fuck you gonna say this the hurt business? This the hurt business. But then you're gonna back somebody up that don't really fight. You're gonna crown champions that don't really fight. But it's the hurt business. Come on, man. Let's be real. Put the lotion in the motherfucking bucket. There's been a lot of accusations. Oh, Marvelous Marvin Hagler was on steroids back in the day. Ain't no test come out. And I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, it's more advanced now than it was back then. Because they were still testing motherfuckers. And at the same time, Marvelous Marvin Hagler was getting shortchanged. So, you feel what I'm saying? And not shortchanged in victory, shortchanged in opponents. Like what's going on today. Sound familiar? Sound very familiar, don't it? So we can't. The fighters today, which I call legacy fighters, which are the two that I've mentioned, excluding Duck Sauce, you know, all these fighters fall in a class by themselves, but in the same category, because they're hard fighters and they're legacy fighters, and they're worried about the money later. What's funny is that a lot of these fighters out here, they make millions, but they make just enough to live, just like they did back then. Economy, man. Shit is fucking expensive to live out this motherfucker. Go to New York, a studio is like $3,000, $2,000, man. And that's not having a motherfucking bedroom. It's just a motherfucking living room connected to a kitchen and a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? With a door coming in and out. That's $3,000 fucking dollars. So let's not do unbiased, let's not do biased comparisons. Let's not say, oh, they're cab drivers for that fighter, but and then all of a sudden, when it comes to your fighter, they're not fighting cab drivers because that's all there is out there. It makes no fucking sense. At the same time, let's not disrespect Marvelous Marvin Hagler when he's brought up against, motherfuckers like Dave Lemieux, Rosado, which I think Rosado's a warrior. Canelo, definitely, all the time. You can't do that. You can't do that. Can't do that. Canelo had one of the straps that Hagler was representing, and kept it below that weight level. And this is what's hard to fucking swallow, even with gallons of fucking whatever the fuck it is that help you swallow that fucking bitter bullshit that they're trying to bring into realization. It's a classless act, man. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, to me, the greatest middleweight ever. You guys can comment below in the comment section. I'm welcome to disagreements and whatever, but remember, it's just an opinion. Thanks for joining my fight page, fight fans. God bless. Stay vigilant. Peace.